Hello, what is going on, guys? Hockey Guy 1 here. Welcome to my review of Maleficent. Before we get to this review, I'd like to give a shout out to this channel called Twin Kids. He has been a supporter of mine for about a year now, and he also makes his own videos of movie rankings and other movie-related things, but it's mostly movie rankings. But he is a pretty good video maker, and I suggest you to go check him out if you get a chance to. So Maleficent is directed by Robert Stromberg and stars Angelina Jolie, Charlotte Copley, Ellie Fanning, Imelda Staunton, Juno Temple, and Leslie Manville. So the story is about Maleficent, who ends up getting her wings cut off by King Stephen, and she wants revenge, so she casts a curse on Aurora, so she ends up hunting a spindle wheel on her 16th birthday, and over time, she ends up changing her heart and wanting to get rid of the curse instead, and tries her best to get rid of it. So the second act is really good. It's where most of the story takes place, and it's what most of the structure really relies on. And it is really good for how it is. I mean, and they do show the whole Sleeping Beauty story and kind of showing how everything's going on and her life outside and kind of taking care of it. They do a good job kind of showing that, as it does move along the story and makes sense story-wise. And then the third act, where the climax takes place, where they're fighting, makes a lot of sense. And then the ending is a big standout of this movie. I mean, where both worlds come together, and Aurora is the queen of that. And that's just a perfect ending for this movie, as it really shows how Maleficent is really good in this version, and it really shows that she's mistaken. The action's obviously pretty much just one action scene, and it's the climax, and it's really good. The stakes to it are pretty high, as basically it's just will Maleficent get out alive? Can she really prove that she's good? I mean, it's pretty good how they do that, and I really like how that really portrays her as the hero and the kingdom basically as the villains. I mean, it's just a different way of storytelling, and the action scenes are just really good for that, and are just really fun. Maleficent is a very good character. I like how they put her through a full character arc. Like, at the beginning of the movie, she's kind of just this lovely little kid, kind of just doing her own thing, and then the second act, King Stephen ends up cutting off her wings just because he wants to be king, and at that point she just turns evil and just wants to take revenge, and then over time throughout the movie she realizes how much Aurora cares for her and looked up for her while growing up to 16, and really changed her mind about the curse, and then by the ending kind of reuniting the two kingdoms and making her a good person, which is just, again, it's really different to see Maleficent as a protagonist, and I really like how they did that and put her through this full character arc to make her a well-written character. Aurora's even a well-written character. I mean, she is really well done, as she usually is. I mean, and she's just the princess who's cursed and is taken away from the family, and over time learns more. And then in this one, she's kind of a bit different of a character. I mean, she kind of looks up to Maleficent as a godmother, and just doesn't really get Prince Philip as her love. I mean, and that's really the big difference with her in this than Sleeping Beauty. And And I kind of like that. They do a pretty good job writing her character like it normally is while changing elements to it. The acting is really good. I mean, you got Angelina Jolie, who plays Maleficent in this movie, and she's just fantastic in her role. I mean, and she really does feel like Maleficent when she's delivering her lines, because she feels intimidating when she's supposed to be evil, but also feels compassionate when she's supposed to be a good person. I mean, and it has that good of acting by her. The other actors and actresses like Charlotte Copley, Elle Fanning, and all the other ones, all did a pretty good job in their role. There wasn't really an actor or actress that really stood out as being bad. They all did a pretty good job with their role and really just tried their best, you can tell, and all really delivered their lines well. The cinematography is great. I mean, each scene that uses a whiteout uses it at the right times and does show off the entire landscape. And then there is also the close-ups which show the characters' emotions at the right time. And they do a great job with using the correct ones for each scene, and I like that. The lighting is very good, as in each scene that they use at night, it is dark enough that you can tell that it matches the scene, but it's also bright enough where you can see it well, and there's other scenes in it that are lit well, and then each scene I feel like they did use the right lighting for it so that you can see enough. The set designs are very good. I mean, the main set designs obviously are the castle and the woods and the place where they hide out with the fairies and the rhyme. And I think they do a good job designing those sets. I mean, the castle does have the landscape of the castle from Sleeping Beauty in the live action, so I think they did a good job with that. And then the woods do really feel like woods and feel like magical woods and lanes, so they did a good job with that as well. And then the hideout does look a lot like the animated movies hideout, and they overall did a good job designing that as well. Costume designs are also very good. I mean, Maleficent's costume really does stand out in this movie. I mean, it looks a lot like Maleficent's costume, and the costume designers did do a good job making it look a lot like it from the animated movie, and I really like the effort that they put into it to make it look very similar to that. With that said, this movie does have its negatives, starting with the story, which I like how they at least attempted to do a different take on the Sleeping Beauty story, but it's, at the same time, it's very inconsistent. I mean, it's all over the place. It doesn't really feel like it knows whether to focus on Maleficent or Aurora more at times, and it doesn't really work out well, and it's just kind of all over the place when you look at it as a whole. The structure is a bit of a mess, mainly because of the first act, which has so much exposition in it. I mean, I guess that it's kind of the point of the first act, it's kind of supposed to be exposition, but they use a lot of it in the movie, and it's just overused, and just the first act alone is just over long. I mean, it's like 30 minutes of the runtime, and it doesn't really make any sense to make it that long, and it doesn't really feel connected by the end. The pacing is just all over the place. I mean, like I said earlier, the first act's over long, which does not help the pacing of this movie at all. And this movie's only like an hour and a half, and it definitely feels much longer than that, mainly because of the first act that's over long. And it just doesn't really feel like a well-paced movie, because it just feels really long, and it's just a short movie. King Stefan is pretty much a weak antagonist for this movie. I mean, there's really nothing much to him. He's basically just, he wants to become king, so he turns on Maleficent, and by cutting off her wings, and that's pretty much the most intimidating thing he does the whole movie. There's just really nothing to his character, and he's just pretty much just does everything for his own selfish desire and doesn't really have a real reason to it other than I want to be king. The fairies even feel pretty weak in this movie. I mean, they don't really have much to do with it because they're obviously just supposed to be comedic reliefs, but if you're in comedic relief, you're supposed to at least be funny, and I didn't really find a single joke that they threw out to be funny, and that's just that. I mean, other than that, they really don't have much character. They're just protecting Aurora, as they always do, and throwing out jokes, and that's pretty much it. The visual effects are just bad. I mean, they're just downright bad. I don't know how this movie has such a big budget with having visual effects that look this bad. I mean, the creatures in the woods just look so fake because, like, they make their eyes really big and just the skin tone of it doesn't really feel fluent, and it's just looks so fake and unconvincing. Overall, Maleficent is a pretty average to mediocre film and is one of the better Disney live-action remakes, and I'm gonna give Maleficent a 6 out of 10. That was my review of Maleficent. What are your thoughts on Maleficent? Tell me in the comments below. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.